Welcome back to another magazine flick through, and this one is Mega Drive Advanced Gaming issue 9 from May 93, costing £1.95, and as it likes to remind us, this is not an official Sega publication. So what have we got in this issue? It's quite different from the last Mean Machine Sega magazine from April 93. So I don't have May 93 for Mean Machine Sega, so there won't be an overlap. I've gone through the magazines that I've got, and I don't have, as far as I know, any cases where I have duplication for the same month. So different magazines will plug some of the gaps in the months. So we've got Jag XJ220, again that was in Mean Machines. We've got this poster, which I don't know if is in this or maybe it's been cut out. X-Men, Wolfchild, that's a good game. Double Clutch, Double Dragon 3. I didn't realise that came out on the Mega Drive. I remember it being a NES game and an Amiga game, but we shall see. So we've got Special Reserve, so we're looking at about £130 for the Mega Drive and the Game Gear. I think I'd prefer the Mega Drive for that price. Contents, very 90s looking band, and we've got this mini mag. So let's see what's in that. So what have we got? Sensible Soccer coming out on the Mega Drive. That was a really good Amiga game, and the Mega Drive conversion, I enjoyed it. I think I played the first one that I played on a console was the Jaguar game, and that was a really good port from the Amiga. But the Mega Drive one's just as good, dare I say. Rather, it's just as fun. It might not be quite sophisticated, but it's still fun. So we've got Sonic 3 Before Christmas. No way. Sonic 3 came out February 94. So this was the year 93 where we didn't get a Sonic game. So we got one in 91. We got two in 92. So this was November, if I remember correctly. So this is, yeah, so I think they're assuming that Sonic 3 would come out in November, and it didn't. We got Sonic CD and we got Sonic Chaos, which were both very good games. So Lemmings 2 The Tribes, another Amiga conversion. This is really a hard game. It's much more challenging than the first. I think this suffers a little bit. So I've got this on the Mega Drive, but I think it suffers from the colour palette. It looks a little bit dark and a little bit, the colours look a little bit washed out in some areas. They're very dark and kind of dark blue or dark grey. I don't remember the Amiga version having that issue, but then I think it was the AGA version that I played, so it would have had more colours. But nonetheless, it's a very competent port. Yeah, I remember these double headers. These were the EA games. So there's I think it's John Madden and NHL. Was it NHL at that point? Or was it just EA Hockey? I think it was EA Hockey, then it was NHLPA 93, which is my preferred game in the series, and then the NHL 94, and then on. Megalomania, that's a really good game. I should do a gameplay on that at some point, although it might take a little while because it's quite a slow game. Speedway Pro, another, I would say Outrun style graphics game, but it's not really, is it? It's more traditional, more like Lotus, Turbo Challenge, that kind of game. Jimmy White's, yeah, that's a good game. I picked that up for £2 the other day. It's quite complex in its controls. I think it's one that would work very well on a computer with a mouse, but with a joypad it's a little bit too complex. Mortal Kombat, yeah, that definitely made its way to the Mega Drive, and it's talking about the Mega CD version, which had problems with loading, particularly because the Mega Drive cartridge was pretty big from what I remember, but the Mega CD, particularly with Shang Tsung at the end, when you transform into different characters, it has to load, which is a limitation of a slow CD drive. VAT on magazine prices. That might explain why magazines got more expensive. I don't ever remember that. I know books aren't taxed, but I always assumed magazines worked. Maybe I was wrong. Chaos Engine, Another great game from the Bitmap brothers. Don't have that. That's something I'm looking for from a decent price. I've seen it online, but it's quite expensive. Yeah, Sega Europe on epilepsy. Companies just put warnings in there. I'm not sure if there's any evidence that it causes seizures, no more than watching a television program. But I may be wrong. Perverse. Is that a band? Jesus Jones is the band. Never heard of them. So it's who is a band who grasps modern technology and uses it to enhance its music. Who knows what the future could hold? Yeah, I don't think these guys were original in using modern tech. I'm thinking back to people like Jean-Michel Jarre. So, but I don't know. I've never heard that band, so maybe they did something new. Yeah, more of those guys. Cool Spot. What? Oh, it was a preview. So yeah, I looked at this last time. Another Dave Perry game, and there he is. Was he published by Virgin Games? I forget the name of Shiny. That's it. Shiny is the name of his development company, and they were published by Virgin. That's it. Yeah, he did Earthworm Jim and MDK in later years, amongst others. Jaguar XJ220. Now, Mean Machines like this game. Some people don't. So let's see. Do we say about 80%? 92%. They really like that. Yeah, of course the sound's good because it's off a CD. Graphics are 8, playability 8, durability 8. So they like the track editor. I think you only get the one car in this game. I haven't played it for a while. And the downers is only people with a Mega CD can play it. That's a given. Faultless racing. Yeah, I mean they talk about here the roadside objects being smooth, and that's because it was using scaling. But from the screenshots, you can't tell. The trackside scenery looks a little blocky, but once you see it moving, it's really smooth, and I think that works well. But this is what the Mega CD was capable of, and I think it's just a shame that you didn't get the Sega Super Scaler games like Power Drift and, well, maybe Galaxy Force 2 would have been a bit too taxing, but maybe having a port of Outrun or one of the other scaling games would have been really good, but it didn't happen, sadly. Monaco GP is another one. Clue, don't know what that is. Reminds me a bit of some of the Sherlock Holmes games. We've got 22%. This is odd. It's mixing reviews and previews. So we've got Hardball 3, which I looked at last video. More of the same. Batman Revenge of the Joker. There's a bit more information about this. So this, if I recall, was previewed last month in Mean Machines. So in this one they gave it 78%. So the graphics are good. Yeah, I think this looks better than Batman Returns. It's too hard. The Guardians are a joke. Does that mean it's too hard or too easy? Sprite collision is dodgy. Yeah. I might have a look for that. It does look quite good. It looks different than the other Batman games, so I suspect it will be a different developer. Sunsoft is the developer, so Japanese. NBA All-Star Challenge, 57%. Yeah, I think within a year you'd have NBA Jam. Muhammad Ali Heavyweight Boxing. I don't recall if I played that. I played, was it Evander Holyfield in about 92, and that was okay. It wasn't mine, it was a friend of mine who had it and I played it and I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, this was Summer Challenge Accolade, another unofficial cartridge. So a lot of the Accolade games were unofficial, so they weren't licensed by Sega, similar to the Codemasters games. So if you look on the boxes, it never says Mega Drive. It says for use with Mega Drive systems, but it doesn't say Mega Drive. It's a weird little semantic there. But this was quite impressive. It had lots of 3D sections in it, and there was a Winter Games as well, which I don't remember which came out first. So obviously no review. X-Men, another preview. Visually, this game looked really nice, and I liked the fact that, well, I wasn't really into X-Men at that point. I've never really been a big Marvel fan. It's not that I dislike them, it's just I prefer to read other things. Because I have bad taste and I like film tie-ins. But this was, yeah, it was okay. The mechanics were fine, it was just a little, I don't know, I won't say boring, but you played it a bit and it just got a bit frustrating. Mutant League Football, covered that in the last issue. Yeah, I haven't played this one. Wow, they did a big spread on that. So 86%, they obviously liked it. That's probably quite a lot of fun if you like games like Madden. So Double Dragon 3, wow, 10%. This is the Rosetta Stone, if I remember correctly, on the Amiga. I think it's the same game. So Graphics 2, really? It looks alright. But then again, it is 93, so we'd have Sonic 2 at this point, so yeah, maybe something that looks like the original Golden Axe wouldn't cut it anymore. Because I think the Mega Drive's visuals did get better throughout its lifespan. So 111 for playability. The bloke from Alton 8 puts in the guest appearance, and it exists. So they hated it. So, don't know. I'll have to play this at some point. I've seen a copy of Double Dragon 2 in one of our local retro shops for, I think it's about 25, 30 quid. It's quite expensive. Japanese copy. And I look at it, I think, it might be nice to play, but probably not. Double Dragon 1 did come out on the Mega Drive, but that was an Accolade release again, and it was Europe only, I believe. But I never knew that Double Dragon 1 came out on Mega Drive, so clearly all three did. Paperboy 2 looks very similar to the first game, so 60%. Graphics don't look great. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. It looks like, visually like a Master System game, or maybe even Atari ST. Quality visuals, so not great. And the playability is 6, so it's probably more of the same. Kind of reminds me a bit of a cross between Paperboy and the Back to the Future 2 game. So Mega CD with a bit cut out. I think the trend on these magazines is whoever had them before cut the faces out, probably for a school project. So we've got Chuck Rock, Wonder Dog, Sega Classics, Road Avenger, Prince of Persia, Sherlock Holmes and Black Hole Assault. So we're looking at launch games really, or games that came out very, very close to launch. I remember reading this, so this issue I didn't buy, but I remember reading in the shop just because of these, and I remember in my mind looking at some of the shots and thinking these things are similar to the game when it came out, but the other one was CD Sonic, not Sonic CD. So this is one of the beta versions which you can get on the internet. I think there are about 4 versions of Sonic CD, and the ISOs are all downloadable. Probably, grey area legality, but well, it's history, and there are websites which cover these. So if you're interested in beta versions of Sonic 2 in particular, and Sonic CD, and maybe a bit of Sonic 3, do check those out. But yeah, CD Sonic. There was meant to be a CD version of Sonic 2, but that never happened. So for people that aren't aware, CD Sonic, or Sonic CD, isn't a CD version of Sonic 1. It uses the same engine, but it's a completely different game. So it feels like Sonic 1, which is the one I prefer. So this is one reason I like this. It's just another sequel to Sonic 1, you could see it as. So Sylphie, Jurassic Park. Cliffhanger was like the Mega Drive game. It just had really good sprite scaling for the snowboarding sections. And this goes back to the Sega Super Scaler games. This felt like a really good example of using that technology. It was just used for one or two, almost like bonus levels. Self-feed was really good. Oh yeah, Mega CD explained, they're talking here about the region locking. So you've got to have the same region Mega Drive and CD. There is a cartridge you can get which gets around that. I've got one of those, but it only works on the Mega CD 1. So this was the classic CD, which for a freebie was quite good. I mean, these all later came out on the, I won't say the first Mega games, Columns did, and was it Golden Axe? I forget what was on the first Mega games now, but on the Mega games, I think they went up to number 6. It had all these games on a single cartridge, so the CD was pretty much redundant. And the games are the same. There are a couple of modifications to the soundtracks, and you can't play 2-player on Golden Axe for some reason. Cobra Command, this was a port of the arcade Laserdisc game, and it's okay, it's just really a memory test. Solfierce, 55%. I really like this. This was another example of a game that really was a Mega Drive game with CD soundtrack and some F&V at the beginning, but I really like the atmosphere of it. The voiceover and the anime artwork just set the atmosphere well. The game's got it's got flaws, but it's a shame this didn't come out on the Mega Drive over here. There is a Genesis game called Sol Dias. Don't remember if it came out in Japan, but it's really this game just on a cartridge. So that's something I'm looking for, but it's not cheap. So I think I'll stick with the Mega CD version. Crisscross Make My Video. Yeah, this is similar to another game that I saw recently called Iron XS, which was another band, and you make music videos. Never played any of these. So yeah, like nothing you've ever played before, it says. Crisscross of the Stars, nothing to keep your player hooked. So yeah, I don't know. I gather you've probably not got very much control over the video editing, particularly as the CD drive has got to seek the right sectors and the right parts of the video. So I can see there being a huge pause. So I gather it would be fairly crude. I won't say quality, but crude control you get over it. So it's not going to be millisecond by millisecond. Road Avenger, another laser disc game. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a bit better than Cobra Command. Don't know why, it just felt better. Sherlock Holmes, played that, couldn't get into it at the time. The first game was really cheap on eBay, second game was really expensive. Prince of Persia, another game that really didn't make much use of the hardware. I did a video of that, it was probably about 2.5 years ago. It plays okay. Again, all the Prince of Persia games look totally different, all the different ports look different, and this has got its own graphic style, so maybe you prefer this to the Mega Drive, maybe you think the Mega Drive one looks better. Black Hole Assault, another game I had, 59%. Yeah, it's a one-on-one beat 'em up, and it's a bit clunky. It's a bit different because it's robots, but clunky. Chuck Rock. Yeah, another enigma here. Why is Sony released Chuck Rock on CD? I don't remember this coming out on CD. Yeah, it's a lot of laziness. I think the idea was the Mega CD discs were meant to be cheaper than cartridges, so you could play the same games for cheaper, but that never really worked. Hook had that. Again, it's another Mega Drive game with some video at the beginning. Yeah, it's okay platformer. A bit slow. I did a video of that as well. Wonder Dog. That's another Amiga conversion. I've got a Japanese version of this. I didn't realise there was a UK or a European version until I saw it a couple of months ago in the same shop that I saw the Iron XS video. And Double Dragon. Night Trap. Well, we all know about that. Robo Aleste. That was a good game. That was a good game. Again, it didn't take advantage of the hardware very much. Maybe there was a bit of scaling in it, but I don't really recall. So Wolfchild, and the cat's up. Hello. Right, so we've got Wolfchild. He'll sit over there. Again, another Amiga conversion to the Mega CD. There is a Mega Drive version, but it's only out in the US on the Genesis and in Japan. And another Mega CD game that I would really just like on cartridge. Fantastic. This really is a good platformer game. And the cat's about to knock the cat treats on the floor. Oh. But didn't jump down. Yeah, this is a good game. So I think if you just pretend it's an Amiga game or a Mega Drive game, you'll enjoy it. The soundtrack's good. The colour palette's a little bit lacking, but I think it's a pretty accurate conversion from the Amiga game. The Amiga one was an OCS game, so it didn't have a great big colour palette anyway. They gave it 64. I think that's a shame. I like it. I like it. I've got a weakness for this game. There is a Master System one as well, which looks good but plays really slow. Yeah, you get your bag. Sunset Riders. So this is a Konami game. So this was around the time when the license, or the exclusivity license for Nintendo ran out. And they ported Contra, Stroke, Probotector, this, and what else did they do? They did Lethal Enforcers, but I think that was the year later. And the Animaniacs game, which is a recent pickup for me, which I would like to do a video on soon. Sunset Riders, yeah, 2-player. It's like your Streets of Rage kind of game, but you've got guns on it. That's probably doing it a disservice. Yeah, 82%. Double Clutch. Again, I saw this the other day in a shop, and it looks a little, I don't know, underwhelming. The box art is pretty awful, and it looks a little bit grey, like browny grey in its colour palette. Don't know how it plays. I'm not really a fan of the top-down racing games, other than Micro Machines, because I think you just can't see where you're going. You know, oof, shift. Thank you. So George Foreman's Boxing, 48%. Not a great game. I'm not really a fan of boxing games. So we've got some cheats. Humans. That's a game I would like. I saw that at Replay. Oh, was it Replay or Play? Yeah, it was Replay in Blackpool. And that's a little bit like a game that was called Evolution Dino Dudes on the Jaguar, which I really liked. And again, it was one of those games that really didn't push the hardware, but I enjoyed it. That's another game that came out on Genesis, not the Mega Drive. Powermonger. Oh, you get to the final level. What's a cheat for Lotus? Oh yeah, the cars go faster. Rolling Thunder 2, so you got your player's guide. I haven't played that game. Steel Talons, helicopter game, Polygon Base. Yeah, there were a few of these. There was a helicopter game. Was it F-11 Strike Eagle? I forget the name of it. This company made a few games that used a similar engine. I don't know how fast the frame rate is on this. So yeah, this is Humans. And it looks like Evolution Dino Dudes. There's a game... Is it Toki? Toki? No, that's not right. I forget the name of it. It's on the iPhone. And it's like a little yellow chicken or chick. And you walk through walls. But it's similar to Humans. Rollo to the Rescue. Another game I haven't played, but it looks really colourful. So making good use of the Mega Drive's colour palette. Turtles Hyperstone Heist. This game's really expensive. It's good. It's a good game. It's not like not unlike the SNES version, which was Turtles Through Time. And I believe they're different games. I haven't played them for a long time. I've only ever played the Turtles on the SNES once. But that had some Mode 7 sections. But I think the games are different. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they came out around a similar time though. Yeah, more codes. Solfeus. Yeah, I really like this game. No one else does. What's this? Hieroglyphic hilarity. Oh, too early in the morning. So it's 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning as I'm recording this, so I should be in bed. Let's have a look. So I've got some adverts. So, okay, so they're talking about, it says feature the rebirth of an advert. Yeah, I think the style changed. I think they got a bit more, I think they were targeting a slightly different audience, because I remember the Mortal Kombat adverts having Vinnie Jones on them. So clearly there was a lot more money being spent. Devil's Advocate. What is this? Oh, this is people reviewing games or giving their thoughts on it. Don't know. I'm reading this slightly at an angle, so it's quite hard to read with the colour background. Don't know. Mega Files, so these are people selling Mega Drive games. So 40 quid. Oh no, I'm not. No, they're not. I'm wrong. This is their reviews. So I'm talking shite here. Yeah, I'm thinking these are the classifieds. They're not. These are reviews of games. So this is pretty good, because we didn't have Metacritic you had the internet. It just wasn't very common at that point. It wasn't really in homes, although the web was around at that point. But this is useful to have, because then you know how good a game is. So you could take this into your shop and know what the price is. There's a little crease in the corners. Megaphone, so these are questions. Not familiar with this magazine, so I don't know what the attitude of the magazine staff is. So I don't know if they're a bit like Mean Yob, who was fun. Huh. That's a cross between Tasmanian Devil and Sonic. That's kind of cool. Here we go. Here are the classifieds, rather. Slightly distracted by the cat. He's just jumping around. I don't know what he's up to. I think he's after more grub. Galahad, 20 quid. Yeah, so they're selling for about £20 next month. So what's coming out? We've got Atomic Runner, Rolling Thunder 2, Captain Planet. Yeah, some pretty average games, I would say. Strider 2. Yeah, that's not a great game. Yeah, it's funny that, considering the amount of flack the Mega CD games got at this time, the Mega Drive lineup wasn't that great either. 2019, out in 2019, that was good. Global Gladiators, that was another shiny game, if I've got that right. Flashback, that's a great game. Another World, I didn't realise these came out at the same time. I know that Another World came out, I won't say a long time before, but a few years before on the Amiga, and Flashback came out later on the Mega Drive. But it must be that by the time Another World got converted to the Mega Drive, Flashback was out, and that just seems weird. You can see it cannibalising the sales. And Mutant League Football, which got a good review, and Night Trap. Yeah. I remember these. These were the Amstrad. Were they 486s? Yeah, they claim to be 486s, 92 megahertz. 92? That's a weird clock speed. And we used to have a 486 running at, it was 33 megahertz. Was it a DX? Yeah, it was a DX, so it played Doom reasonably well. And then we upgraded it to a 100 megahertz CPU that was it an AMD or was it a Cyrix? I forget which one it was. It might have been a Syrex. I think they've disappeared now. Yeah, but yeah, you get your Sonic on your Mega Drive. I didn't realise that the PCs were so capable. I always remembered this being a 386, but I must be wrong. Maybe they upgraded them. Yeah, that seems more correct. So you've got Amstrad 486 at 33 megahertz with a landmark Speedcom. Maybe that was a CPU upgrade. Right, Cool Spot. Don't have that game. I've only ever played it once, I think. Right, yeah, I'll leave it there. So this is Mega Drive Advanced Gaming, and it's not a bad issue. It's covering some pretty average games, which is always nice to see, because I mean, Mean Machines tended to pick out really good games, but I think some of the stinkers they didn't cover. But it's sometimes nice just to read about some bad games which have either been forgotten or have sometimes been held up as pretty good classics, even though they got terrible reviews. I remember Mean Machines reviewed on the Saturn Chase HQ and they gave it about 40%, which I really don't understand why, but there you go. So opinions change. Waffling. Right, I'll leave it there. So this is Mega Drive Advanced Gaming, and hopefully I'll try and do one of these every weekend. It might not be the same day every weekend, but I'll try and get one out and uploaded if I can. So thank you very much for watching, and more magazine videos to come.